So I arrived on the plot today and decided I couldn't leave all these brassicas any longer. I need to get these beds replanted in the next few days, and so I got it all chopped down and composted, most of it. I was really pleased though to see that I didn't have any club root. It's always kind of slightly nerve-wracking when I take a plant out and wonder whether the club root's going to have spread to that bed as well. But I've given it a good water, this bed now, about probably, let me think, about 100 litres probably, something like that, which is about 18 pence the water, I think, which is about the price of one beetroot. So it's definitely worth giving it a good water to get the beetroot established. I won't be planting the beetroot today, probably a bit wait a couple of days, but it's nice to get a bed prepped, and I've got a lot of beds to prep today. I'm very much a 80-20 gardener, kind of like take the approach that if I grow healthy seedlings, give the bed a good weed, give the bed a good water, and put on a good inch and a half of compost. This is just homemade compost. It's extremely rough, but it doesn't really matter. You know, plants don't really know it's rough. It's only humans that know that. So yeah, and then just provide some good growing conditions, lots of light, whatever. These are actually my storage crop, and I'm starting them early because where the camera is, that's where I'm going to be growing my squash plants, up against that fence, and that obviously reduces the light considerably. That's east over there, it's west over there, so they only really get the morning sun. And yeah, so obviously helps to get them started just that little bit earlier, give them a little bit more time. And since the squash won't be going in for a few weeks, it gives the beans, not the beans, I've just been talking to my neighbour about beans, gives the beetroot a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, actually more, probably a month to get established before they have any competition from the squash. And I will probably cover them with a mesh tunnel because we get quite a lot of leaf beet minor around here. So I've just taken out the purple sprouting broccoli. That's the last succession of my PSB. I don't know, some people I think keep it going a bit further into May than I seem to manage to be able to do, but it doesn't matter really because I've got loads of calabrese, and calabrese is a really good substitute for PSB. And I've got lots of cauliflowers. We've already harvested a lot, but we've got a lot more on the way. And again, I'm just putting my own homemade compost down here. I was going to put beetroot in here, but I think I've changed my mind. I am probably still going to end up putting beetroot in probably July, but I think for now I'm just going to put a batch of lettuce in because they're ready to go in. And yeah, I think there's still plenty of time to get a beetroot harvest from the June sowing, so I'll do that instead. And then finally I've got this brassica bed. So this was my early Savoy cabbage bed, and we harvested Savoys off here for 3 or 4 weeks, but it's all gone to seed now. So I was just taking individual leaves off it because they were very young plants, but they did give a fantastic crop of young leaves, so I was very happy with that experiment, because I do find that Savoy can sometimes be a bit riddled with slugs, and when you just harvest the loose leaves, obviously you don't have that problem, so that can be pretty good. And I've got some more Savoy coming, which hopefully will heart up over summer, and I'm hoping that there'll be less slug problems at that time of year, so we'll see how that goes. But again, this bed is extremely dry because these are big plants, and I'm going to put turnips in this bed. I'm kind of hoping that the turnips will be harvested not long after these spring cabbages are harvested or finished, and yeah, then I'll get this replanted, maybe with my spare peppers, because I've got a few spare peppers, maybe with another batch of lettuce later on. I don't know, plenty of time to make up my mind. So that's all ready to go, and this is the only overwintered leafy green, brassica green, that we've got now. So still really nice leaf quality on it though, even though it has gone to seed, because it was planted late. I think it was sown in December, and actually sown in November. Yeah, planted out sometime in January, I think, after beet leaves, I think. So as I said, I've got some lovely lettuce to pop in. I'm going to give it a good space in this time. I normally cram my lettuce in, but I'm going to leave this probably for mostly to be harvested as whole heads. I'm going to have squash on here as well, but that is not so much of an issue because this bed faces south, or near enough. And now you can probably see why I decided that I was going to do the lettuce now, because really I don't want to keep this in pots any longer. And yeah, it's such a beautiful tray of lettuce as well, which I nearly dropped. And quite a lot of nice varieties here. I'll see if I can show you the varieties in a minute. I think this one's Extra Net. It's a really nice sort of lollo type. Well, maybe not lollo, maybe, yeah, I don't know how to describe it even. But it's quite an impressive lettuce, I've got to say. It's kind of got these, it's almost like a cross between a lollo type and come on Steve, think. A cross between a lollo type and an iceberg, which, yeah, probably sounds a bit strange, but that's the best I can come up with off the top of my head. Really is great. So yeah, I want to try and get a nice symmetrical planting pattern here, which is always a challenge, again, without thinking about it. I should have done the other way round, crossways, but anyway. When I'm planting lettuce and things into these module cells, into these holes, I always think to myself that it's like a press stud. It's like I'm popping a press stud in. I don't know whether anybody else has ever thought that, but that's the way it feels to me. So, yeah, Extra Net and Saragossa. I'm not sure what that one is. I don't think I've ever grown that one before. and Riccia, which is a lovely one from Seeds of Italy. It's one of my absolute favourites. And the next one is Serbiata. I'm sure it's not pronounced like that. That's again the best I can do, never having actually heard how it's pronounced. And this was a recommendation actually from a viewer who grows it for market for chefs. Apparently it's a big favourite with the chefs, so we'll see what I think of it. I had a real problem getting it to germinate the first time round, but actually this time it seems to be okay. So yeah, we'll give that a go. And then the next one is lightning butter oak. So I normally grow flashy butter oak, but I've been recommended to try flashy butter oak as well, so we'll see how that compares. It's one of those lettuces that the taste is amazing, but the growing habit can be a bit of a challenge. It does tend to grow like really big. And I actually had one person think that because of the mottling on the leaves, they thought it was rotten. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. It's a really stunning lettuce. And then the final one is just Lollarota, which again I got from Seeds of Italy, and yeah, I've been really happy with it. I've grown a lot of it over winter. And yeah, it's been a firm favourite. I don't know, I've tried it in the past in summer and I've found it maybe a little bit dry. The leaves a bit dry, but maybe it'll be better this time. And certainly Riccia, which is the green lot low, wasn't dry at all, so it's one of the few lettuces actually, Riccia, that I grow all year round. Ah, lovely. Well, I'm pleased to have that done. We'll just get those settled in. And I won't water these for a while, at least 3 or 4 days, because I want them to sort of concentrate on seeking out water now. They've got plenty of water to survive. I just want the roots to go down. So my last little job is just to pop these little turnips in. I always like to do Tokyo cross turnips, and yeah, I've got so much planting to do. I've done so much already. I'll show you some of it when I get round to doing a tour of the kitchen garden. And this allotment plot is just, you know, right in that transition at the moment between the summer and the spring crops, and it's looking a bit of a mess, but I will do a tour, I think, pretty soon of that as well. So I think I'm done. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel. I'll see you soon.